I called her a liar, until a DNA test proved the 5-year-old boy standing in the hospital was my son. But the woman I wanted to destroy wasn't the one who betrayed me. My name is Ethan Carter, and 5 years ago, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I was the billionaire heir to the Carter Hotel's empire. I had everything: money, luxury, power, and people who never dared to tell me I was wrong. Back then, I believed every woman wanted my family's fortune. I never imagined that one forgotten night would come back to destroy everything I believed about myself. For 5 years, I lived without knowing I had a son. When I finally found out, I swore I would make his mother pay for hiding him from me. I thought she had betrayed me. I thought she had stolen 5 years of my child's life. But I was chasing the wrong enemy. The real traitor was someone I trusted with my life. And by the time I uncovered the truth, revenge was the only thing left. 5 years earlier, I was 28 years old and completely irresponsible. As the only son of billionaire Richard Carter, I had never heard the word no. If I wanted a new Ferrari, it appeared in my driveway. If I wanted to shut down an entire hotel floor for a private party, my employees made it happen. That was my life. Every year, Carter Hotels hosted a grand anniversary celebration for all employees. Managers, chefs, receptionists, housekeepers, everyone attended. To me, it was just another excuse to drink. That night, I walked into the ballroom wearing a custom-made black tuxedo worth more than some of my employees earned in a year. Everyone greeted me with fake smiles. Some wanted promotions. Others wanted favors. I barely looked at them. Then I noticed someone who wasn't trying to impress me. Her name was Emma Collins. She worked at the front desk. She wasn't wearing expensive jewelry. She wasn't trying to get my attention. For the first time that evening, someone seemed completely uninterested in the Carter fortune. I couldn't stop looking at her. Later that night, one of the managers insisted I join everyone for a toast. 1 drink became 2. 2 became 5. Soon the entire room was spinning. I remember laughing. Music blasting. People dancing. And then, only scattered memories remained. I remember Emma helping me because I could barely walk. I remember apologizing for being drunk. I remember thanking her. After that, everything went black. The next morning, I woke up in one of the hotel's luxury suites with a pounding headache. I couldn't remember how I had gotten there. I convinced myself nothing important had happened. After all, people like me forgot nights like that all the time. I showered, got dressed, and returned to my normal life without asking a single question. That decision would haunt me for years. A week later, I noticed Emma's desk was empty. I casually asked the hotel manager where she was. She resigned, sir? I shrugged. Employees came and went every day. I didn't think about her again. Not once. I had no idea that, at the very same moment, Emma was walking away from Carter Hotels carrying a secret that would change both our lives forever. She had just discovered she was pregnant. And I knew nothing about it. Emma disappeared from my life without a word. I never called her. I never searched for her. The truth was, I had already forgotten she existed. Meanwhile, she was fighting a battle I didn't even know had begun. She found out she was pregnant just weeks after leaving Carter Hotels. She stared at the pregnancy test for nearly an hour, hoping it was wrong. It wasn't. She thought about telling me. More than once. She even wrote me a letter explaining everything. But every time she imagined walking into the Carter mansion and telling the billionaire heir he was about to become a father, fear stopped her. Who would believe a hotel receptionist over a billionaire? She tore the letter into pieces. Instead, she chose to raise the baby alone. 9 months later, she gave birth to a healthy little boy. She named him Noah. From the day he opened his eyes, everyone said the same thing. He looks exactly like his father. Emma would simply smile and change the subject. 5 years passed. I had become CEO of Carter Hotels after my father's retirement. Business was booming. To the outside world I had everything. But life has a strange way of humbling people. One morning, during a board meeting, I suddenly felt dizzy. The room spun. My vision blurred. The next thing I remembered was waking up in a hospital bed. The doctors diagnosed me with a rare blood disorder and ordered a series of tests. As I walked through the children's wing after one appointment, a little boy came running around the corner. He bumped straight into me. His toy airplane fell to the floor. "Oh, I'm sorry, mister," he said with the sweetest smile. I bent down, picked up the toy, and handed it back. The moment he looked up at me, I froze. Those blue eyes. That smile. Even the small dimple on his left cheek. It felt like I was staring into a mirror from 20 years ago. Before I could say another word, a woman rushed over. "Noah! I told you not to run." She thanked me politely without really looking at my face. Then she grabbed the boy's hand and hurried away. Something about her voice felt familiar. But before I could remember where I'd heard it, they disappeared into the crowd. Just then, my father walked toward me. He looked at the boy, then at me. Again. And again. Finally, he asked quietly, "Ethan, are you absolutely sure you don't have a child?" I laughed. "What kind of question is that? I'm serious. That boy looks exactly like you." I shook my head. "No, Dad. It's impossible." He didn't argue. But I could tell he wasn't convinced. As Noah climbed onto a hospital chair, a strand of his hair caught on the fabric. My father noticed it. Without saying a word, he quietly picked it up and slipped it into his pocket. I thought nothing of it. 3 days later, my father called me into his office. He wasn't smiling. A sealed envelope rested on his desk. "Ethan, sit down." I had never seen him look so nervous. "What happened?" He slowly pushed the envelope toward me. "I had a DNA test done." I frowned. "A DNA test? On who?" "You, and the little boy from the hospital." For a second, I couldn't even breathe. I ripped open the envelope. My hands began shaking. Then my eyes landed on one sentence. Probability of paternity, 99.9999%. The paper slipped from my fingers. My son. I had a son. And somehow, I had never known he existed. At first, I felt guilt. Then anger took over. Only one thought echoed inside my head. Emma hid my son from me. At that moment, I made a promise. I would find her. And I would make her answer for stealing 5 years of my son's life. I had no idea. The person who had really betrayed me wasn't Emma. It was someone standing much closer to me. The morning after I received the DNA report, I hired the best private investigators money could buy. Within 48 hours, they found Emma. She was living in a modest apartment on the outskirts of Chicago with Noah. I drove there without telling my father. The entire journey, anger burned inside me. I wasn't thinking like a father. I was thinking like a man who believed he had been cheated. When Emma opened the door, she froze. "Ethan." Before she could say another word, I held the DNA report in front of her. 5 years, Emma? 5 years you kept my son away from me. Did you enjoy watching me live without knowing I had a child? Tears filled her eyes. I can explain. I don't want excuses. You stole my son's childhood from me. Noah appeared behind her. Mom, who's he? Emma quickly pulled him behind her. He isn't here to hurt you. Seeing the fear in Noah's eyes should have stopped me. Instead, my anger only grew. I left after warning Emma that I would fight for custody. That night, my father visited me. He didn't ask about Emma. Instead, he asked one simple question. Did you ever ask why she never contacted you? His words stayed with me. The next morning, I ordered my investigators to dig deeper. Not into Emma. Into everything that had happened 5 years earlier. 3 days later, they returned with evidence that changed everything. 5 years ago, Emma had tried to tell me. She had written letters. She had called my office. She had even come to the hotel looking for me. But every message disappeared before it ever reached me. The investigators traced everything back to one person. My fiancée. Victoria. The woman I planned to marry. She had intercepted Emma's letters, bribed the hotel manager to fire her, threatened Emma with false police cases if she ever contacted me again. And she lied to me, saying Emma had quit after stealing money from the hotel. I had believed every word. Emma never betrayed me. I betrayed her by believing the lie without asking a single question. For the first time in years, I hated myself. I drove back to Emma's apartment. This time, I wasn't carrying accusations. I was carrying an apology. When she opened the door, I lowered my head. I'm sorry. They told me everything. I failed you, and I failed our son. Emma didn't forgive me immediately. She looked into my eyes and quietly said, "An apology doesn't erase 5 years." She was right. Trust isn't rebuilt with words. It's rebuilt with actions. Meanwhile, I had unfinished business. Victoria. I cancelled our engagement that same day. Then I handed every piece of evidence to federal investigators. The bribery, the threats, the forged documents, the destruction of evidence. Everything. Within weeks, the story exploded across national news. Victoria was arrested. The hotel manager who helped her was sentenced for corruption. Several executives who covered up the truth lost their jobs. Her wealthy family's business collapsed after investors pulled out. The woman who had destroyed my family lost everything she had spent years building. That wasn't revenge fueled by hatred. It was justice. The months that followed were the hardest of my life. Every weekend I visited Noah. At first, he barely spoke to me. Then one day, he asked if I wanted to play baseball. That simple question meant more than every business deal I had ever signed. Slowly, we built the relationship we should have had from the beginning. Emma watched carefully. She wasn't looking for promises. She was looking for consistency. A year later, Noah ran toward me after his school play and shouted, "Dad!" For the first time. I truly felt like one. A few months later, Emma smiled at me and quietly said, "I think we can finally stop living in the past." Today, Carter Hotels funds scholarships and legal support for single mothers through the Emma Collins Foundation. It's my way of making sure no woman ever has to fight the same battle alone. Looking back, I once believed Emma had betrayed me. But the truth was much harsher. The greatest betrayal wasn't committed by the woman I loved. It was committed by the people I trusted, and by my own arrogance. One DNA test revealed my son. But it also exposed the lies that destroyed 5 years of our lives. And if there's one lesson my story taught me, it's this. Never judge someone before knowing the whole truth. Sometimes the person you blame is the only one who never betrayed you at all.